Hey, what's up guys? So we're back with another Star Citizen video. If you're new channel, welcome. We're going to be checking out another Inside Star Citizen video. This one is called the H2O show. So, H2O, water. Not much is obvious, but the water show? I'm guessing maybe it's some spectacle or some feature that you could see, like something like an annual event, like maybe Fleet Week or something. That's my guess, but let's just see what Jared and the other creators behind the scenes have to say. So without anything else, let's just jump into the video.
Alpha 323 is just around the corner, and with that,
Jared Huckabee, level 12, changeling, and a bard. Damn, instead of one, he's got 3 this time.
host of new gameplay.
I don't know what it means by level 12.
Life in the verse features. But it also includes a variety of technological improvements like the replication layer split, our initial implementation of Vulkan, image upscaling breakthroughs, and the subject of this week's show, changes to the water rendering and simulation system that were first discussed at last year's CitizenCon. So here now are the water wizards themselves to tell us more.
You've been doing this for a while now. Why do you think people are so interested in water?
In just any scenario is such a focal point. You go to a national park, you go see the rivers and the waterfalls, you're looking up stock photos of anything. It's people focus on the water because it is just so different to kind of anything else you find in nature. Like everything's unique and everything's different, but water is just something else entirely. Wow, you're making me sound like I'm a water cult or something.
When you came aboard, did you imagine you'd be the Moist Master?
The Moist Man.
I still don't refer to myself as that name. Try as you might, Jared.
Hydro homie?
Hydro homie.
I guess I didn't see it being such a focus, but I'm glad that it is. It's good fun. I really like it. It's not all water. Water's just the nice things I get to talk about more.
Oh my god. So I guess we're talking about the graphics of water and things like that. Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, like before they started talking about it, I mean, the small little waves and the ripples in the water and everything look really cool. I remember watching this like short video, like this short clip, like shorts from a certain YouTuber, and he was like making comparisons of like the water effects and the features from like several different games. What he did was he did GTA 4, GTA 5, and if I recall correctly, he also did a little bit of Far Cry videos, like a Far Cry games, just showing like how it looks like when you jump into the water swimming, or you're throwing explosives in there, like the splashes and things like that. And also finally Red Dead Redemption 2. And if you did a comparison to all of it, Red Dead Redemption 2 had like the, I guess you could say, most realistic looks to it and reactions of the water when you throw like explosives into it, things like that. So that was really cool. So let's see how good Star Citizens is.
Someone asked me when I was at SitCon recently, what makes water 3D in games? What's different to anything else? And the truth is, you have to work to make it look like water, because what we perceive as a volumetric liquid in real life, in graphics, we break down into different parts. You have the water surface, which is what you see reflecting, what you can look through, where you see your waves and your foam and so on. You have the fog underneath and any particles floating around that makes you feel like you're inside water rather than just underneath a surface above you. And then you have all the effects that go to selling that, whether it be the lighting, the caustics, the boundary when it's intersecting your visor, or any of the splashes or simulation that we're going to move on to. So we showed a slice of what we've been doing with water at SitCon last year, and what we put out into 323 is a few steps ahead of that. So we're going to show you what we've been able to do since. Getting the rendering right was really key to making sure that the sim looks right, because anything that catches your eye and tells you this isn't real is going to stick out far more than any work that we put into the sim.
It has to be said that the way we've rendered water in the past in Star Citizen was not really up to scratch. So we have spent a lot of time trying to make it a lot more realistic. Water is quite an interesting thing to render. It has very complex form in its...
Oh man, dude, the sunlight coming through the water and making it look green, dude, that looks beautiful.
Dynamics and the way it animates. But optically, it's very interesting too. In some ways, water is like glass. It's transparent, it refracts and distorts light which passes through it. And it also has a surface which reflects the environment around it. In some ways, water is also like fog. It obscures the background behind it, maybe completely obscuring it. And certainly impure water will have suspended particles which themselves reflect light and give the water a cloudy hue. The water surface may feature foam, certainly where
that looks
waves
cool.
are occurring or at shorelines. One thing we wanted to do was improve the way we render foam on the ocean surface. This involved having it show detail when viewed close up, and also having it disperse in a very naturalistic way, where the foam breaks apart into small patches and the bubbles dissipate. One thing we did to get the details on the close-up views of foam is photograph a pan of soapy water. This gave us the required detail to project onto
Real
the
life
foam
at home
surface
soapy pan
and give
water.
the look we wanted. It's nice to think that all of the foam you see on any ocean in the verse started its life in a soapy pan of water in my kitchen.
Hey, that's a really cool detail in addition.
Water. This means they can view the water from underneath the surface. So we spent lots of time making sure underwater views look correct, showing fogging and so on.
Oh, I like
So we
that.
spent lots of time making sure underwater views look correct.
Like you come up and then you can see like, you know, little droplets and like, what's it called? Little condensation on the helmet and the view. That's a really good detail too. You don't just like come up and it's like all clear. You see like little water droplets and things like that. That's really cool.
Correct, showing fogging and so on.
It's just the little
Similarly,
details that
when
matter.
the player enters the water line may cut across the player's visor, and we took a lot of time getting that to render correctly and show as expected.
I really think the improvements that have gone into the rendering of the water, especially the surface, the fog, it's leaps and bounds ahead of what was in 322. So from rendering, let's move on to surface simulation. What we wanted to do was
here we
provide
go.
some next level visuals to go with all the things that can interact with water in our game. With the nature of the sandbox universe, there's just so many ways you can interact with it. And with all our spaceships and the colossal thrusters.
Now here's the main event. So we talked about, first we went into like how to make the water look 3D, realistic, and the foam and everything. Now we're gonna see the surface simulation and the effects of like certain ships flying across or above water.
And wakes they can throw off. We really wanted to be able to match that with the water rendering. The way we decided to approach this, instead of having a square that follows the camera, like many games do, of water simulation, we wanted to have something more powerful than this. We wanted you to be able to stand at the top of a mountain and watch a ship fly across a lake underneath, drawing the wake behind it. And you wouldn't get that with a fixed square around the camera. So the approach we took was something called region-based surface simulation. This allows us to
look at the
allocate
ripples.
areas where we need to be simulating and propagating water waves at any given moment, regardless of where the camera is. We can allocate and deallocate these as we need, and we can have a pool of them of any size depending on the spec of your PC. You can actually change the maximum allowed regions in your graphics options.
On medium setting, you can have 32 regions simulated at the same time. You can even go to a very high setting, which would give you as many as 128. To choose the best regions, we try to have the closest and most important ones show up and call the other ones. The fact that we sort it by the number of interaction
whoa,
how strong
look
they
at
are
that.
means that only the most important ones will be shown on screen, which helps because having a little interaction right in front of you could be useful, but it might not be visible when there's a very big ship going right by and creating a huge wave.
Sounds like you've built a very efficient system then.
We've tried to build a very efficient system.
In order to interact with things that are in the water, we first need to know that they are there. We've hooked up to the physics system so it sends us events when physical objects like boxes or the player or bits of ship debris are in or floating in the water. From there, we can work out how much water has been displaced and the velocity and pick an appropriate simulation wave speed to match those. From there, we can apply forces to different texels of each sim region. which then propagate as we update that region over time. As well as responding to physical
and
objects
the
in the
wiping of
water,
the
we can also hook this up to other input types.
For example, we could have a ship falling into water, creating a huge displacement. But we can also have footsteps near the beach. Or we could also have bullets and missiles and explosions.
Ah, nice.
For the player, this means that you can be way more immersed in your game.
Oh, dude,
as you can see the
that is cool.
effects of what you are doing,
Right here.
how you are
This is amazing.
playing on the water.
We wanted to be able to create the best visual impact we
I'm pretty sure there was something similar like this in one of the Star Wars. I think it was like the 7th episode, where there was like X-wings going across the water. So something similar like that, and they also do look like X-wings, the Scorpiuses.
We wanted to be able to create the best visual impact we could without having an impact on your bandwidth and server performance, etc., especially as we move into bigger and bigger player counts. So our water simulation is done on the client and is visual only, and I think that way we get the best possible result out of it.
All of the information that we get from the different systems is then packaged and sent to the water buffer.
Tying this all together is the water buffer. This allows us to take in inputs from multiple systems to the shape of the water surface and then use that information in lots of other systems, such as additional effects and, of course, rendering the water. Each patch of ocean is able to render with both the water buffer on and off. If it is off, it simply shows the ocean waves according to where it is on the planet. If it is on, it first populates the water buffer region with the wave data.
Whoa, this is too
in that
advanced for me.
patch. We then add in any simulation data or data from other inputs. Then when we come to render the ocean patch, we look up again from this buffer where we have the total added together result of both the original ocean waves, the simulation, and any other inputs. To copy the simulation in, we build a mesh that covers parts of the water buffer that we're going to write into. The UV coordinates of each vertex in that mesh point to a specific part of the region atlas. This allows us to read specific parts of simulations and input them to other parts of the water buffer, and it allows us to do it in just one draw call. Having the water buffer set up like this to receive multiple inputs leaves the door open for implementing multiple types of simulation going forward. For example, beach crest waves could be input into this system. This means as well that any other system nearby can look up to see where the waves are and see how high the water is. We use this to drive a number of different effects.
Is that the 8?
Having the water buffer
I forgot which
allows us
890J
to have
yacht
the
or something like
graphic
that.
system query what nearby waves are doing. This allows us to render things called caustics. Caustics are where the ocean surface is focusing sunlight onto areas nearby. So, for example, it may focus light from the sun onto the seabed, making certain white patches animate around. And similarly, light can be reflected upwards onto the side of a vehicle, for example. Caustics are a very important visual clue for water rendering, and leaving them out would have meant the water did not look correct.
Well, that was a look into all the work that went into the water in 3.23. The whole thing is pretty sweet. I'm really happy with how it looks. The team has done a fantastic job. Planet Tech have got some really exciting things coming. I'm really, really excited to dive back into the planets of Star Citizen. I hope you guys enjoy it.
That is cool.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the updated rendering system makes water look more like water, that region-based simulation makes water behave more like water, and that the new water buffer itself hooks into all the other systems, like physics, which will get its own series of improvements down the line, to make water interact better with the variety of things that players throw into it. Boy, you love throwing things into the water, don't you? For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
That was a really cool addition of water rendering. To be honest, I didn't think that there was going to be just like one entire episode that will literally just talk about water. But like I said, even the smallest details can make the biggest impact and biggest differences. So it was really cool to see like how they made the water look more 3D and how it came from the guy had like soapy pan water and he just like pretty much took a picture of it and it turned into how they featured the foam on top of like the water surfaces near the shores, and also the effects of the surface simulation of the ships flying across the water or just floating above it. That was really cool as well. So this is really great. I really love this one. And the rendering, water buffer, whatever they said, I just love how much time and effort and small details they're putting into it. That makes this game just look so much so much better and so much cooler. So I really like this one, even though H2O show, I had something else completely different in mind. You guys know, like at Disney, was it that like little water show, like the color and the water show? I thought it was gonna be something similar like that. That's what that was the first thing that came to my mind when it said H2O show. But either way, this is really cool, and I'm really excited to see this once I start getting into the game. So that's all I got for today, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. So without anything else, see you guys next time.